The Texas Longhorns stay alive, not just in the race to make the SEC championship game, but also to make the college football playoff in what was a much-needed win against Vanderbilt that they nearly let slip away late, but they hold on to win 34-31. Arch Manning played well, but so did Diego Pavia. And this Texas team just has a hard time closing out games. And will this come back to bite them later in the season? We'll talk about it. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on the step mill. This is your first time watching Adapt and Respond. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year-round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Do you think the Texans can run the table the rest of the way after they dispatched a number 9 Vanderbilt as the number 20 team in the country? Also, one of the wildest experiences of my college football life is hearing a Texas crowd shout overrated at Vanderbilt, which is wild because it's Vanderbilt and you're Texas. Have some pride about you. To which there are a number of Texas fans in here that feel strongly about their program, to which I'm going, yeah, all right, cool. I watched the preseason number 1 team beat Vanderbilt as a 2-loss team. Good luck. Congratulations. How do you feel about yourself for having underachieved for the first half of the season? And oh, by the way, needing overtime against Kentucky, needing overtime against Mississippi State, and damn near letting Vanderbilt come back to get you. But again, you are in a great spot now. You're in a really great spot because at, what is it? It would be 7-2, right? We're talking about a Texas team that really has, we think, two more major opponents where they can make a statement here. So you got 3 top 10 matchups you can get wins in. This one that you had, well, that'd be 4. So they got the one against Oklahoma, which is number 6 at the time. They got the one against Vanderbilt, number 9. Now they get one against Georgia after their bye week. Arkansas, and then a number 3 and undefeated right now, Texas A&M, who's also on its bye week, as they're beginning to round into form offensively and still kind of waffle on who they're going to be defensively. Arch Manning, again, another 300-yard passing performance, 25 of 33 for 328 with 3 TDs, 18 rushes for 75 yards. Quintravion Wise, who came arrived. And then Ryan Wingo can still take the top off of defense. I've been really big on Ryan Wingo since he got to Texas, and I have been defending him as an absolute star, just needs to pull it together and find himself. And he did that against Mississippi State. He did that again against Vanderbilt. Now we just need him to do it against other opponents along the way. Everett Mosley played really well, man. 7 catches, 69 yards. DeAndre Moore also played well, 3 catches, 49 yards. They've got 5 guys that I trust there, right? You got Parker Livingston, you got Jack Andrees, you've got DeAndre Moore, you got Everett Mosley the 5th, and you've got Ryan Wingo. That's pretty damn good. Both of these programs were great in separate halves. Like Texas played outstanding football in the first half, and Vanderbilt played outstanding football in the second half. And you can see that in the scoring drives. You could see that while Texas jumps out to a 34-10 lead, Vanderbilt just doesn't say die with Diego Pavia at quarterback, and they came close. Like if that onside kick had just been fielded by Vanderbilt, we're talking about 33 seconds to go get 3 points and to send this thing into overtime on the road. Just not how it worked out for them. But that's also because Texas did what I said they needed to do on Friday night when we did the live show preview. It's get on top of Vanderbilt early, give yourself a 2-score lead, and make them play catch up. They want to play time of possession ball. They want to run the football. They want to play stout on defense, but get off the field. If you can hit them with explosives to start the game, you're going to have an opportunity to hold them down until they run out of time to come back. And that's what happened. I mean, even as Diego Pavia had, I think, one of his best games, it just happens to be in a loss against Texas, 27-38, man, for 365 yards, which is wild, right? Considering that he hadn't been that guy up until he played Texas, 3 TDs. You got to be really worried about that if you're Texas playing against Georgia with Gunnar Stockton, playing against Marshall Reed and A&M later this year. Eli Stowers was also great. He had a couple catches I thought he should have had, but ends up with 7 catches, 146 yards. That's going to be, I think, the first tight end to go in the NFL draft. He wants to do that. Again, they just came up short. They ran out of time. They got started a little bit too late. And giving up 428 yards, if you're Texas, to this team, you're going to take it. 423 yards. Both these programs were great on third down, too. Combined to go 14 for 24. That's 7 converted out of 13 for Vanderbilt and 7 for 11 for Texas. Outstanding game for also a Arch Manning, who was in concussion protocol up until recently, right? Was really touch and go to play if the doctors didn't clear him. Steve Sarkisian was being very clear about that. And perhaps you have to really figure out if Matthew Caldwell is the guy during the week. And maybe they learned some things about Matthew Caldwell. But the other thing I thought was important here is Ryan Niblett didn't get an opportunity to change the game for Texas here. At least Clark Lee's listening when I talk, saying, hey, take that dude off the board. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, if they want to put him in the backfield, that's not his natural position. He can do it just like any other great athlete can play running back. But what you want from him is the stuff on special teams. You want punt return. You want kick returns. They didn't give that opportunity, taking the touchbacks on kickoff when they could and really keeping themselves in the game. But while Diego Pavia threw for 365 yards, it was also clear that when they got in third down situations, Texas was coming after him, sacked him 6 times. I continue to say this, man. Anthony Hill is the best player on Texas's defense. I realize there are people who want to fight about this with Colin Simmons. I get it. Michael Taft also on the sideline for this, recovering from an injury. They didn't have him in the backfield. That also could be a guy that you might think of as their best player. Grayson Littleton, also a guy you could at any time say he's got an argument. But again, this guy, Anthony Hill, is just something different, man. He can rush the passer. He can play pass coverage. You're not going to be able to block him. And if you don't put a real live offensive lineman on him one-on-one, he's just going to beat him and he's going to get there. He is a slender, faster Micah Parsons. I mean that. You could put him anywhere you want on the football field. What people want Harold Perkins to be is what Anthony Hill has turned out to be. I can't wait to watch that dude continue to play football. I really get a big kick out of him because as a quarterback, I'm watching him going, what do I do with this guy? You know, like if I slide protection his way, I'm leaving Colin Simmons, which is saying a lot of things, right? But if I don't slide protection his way, I might not have an opportunity to let the play develop. And that's what Diego Pavia was going through. He wasn't holding the ball too long. The play just wasn't developing in front of him because Anthony Hill and those were in his face. Those are things that you just can't teach. And if you're Pete Kwiatkowski, you got to keep doing those things. But again, your pass coverage being what it is, you got to get that fixed. And while you could tell me that Vanderbilt has one of the worst pass defenses in the country at 119th, I believe you. And Arch Manning was supposed to do what he did against that program. But again, it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to go do it. And again, they were great up until the end of the game. And if you're a Texas fan, you got to figure out how to finish these games, man. These games that you're winning by double digits, like what you were doing against Mississippi State, like what you were doing against Vanderbilt. These can't be one-score games. These can't be nail-biters at the end, especially if you expect to compete for a national championship, let alone an SEC championship, because I'll tell you what else is happening. Ohio State is finishing teams. Indiana is finishing teams. If that's where you want to be, now's the time, especially with Georgia on deck in 2 weeks.